Hello people, right, first trade of the day, little lay in this morning, and then it was difficult to actually find a trade, to be honest with you, this morning. Really weird after all that massive movements on the Bank Holiday Monday. Price just seemed to be drifting, and I did not want to be trading against the higher time frames, and in this instance the H4 was just screaming long at me still. What we'd done is on the H4, remember these are massive times, 4 hours per bar, so we'd actually pushed up late last night, then we'd had some pullback, then we'd had a little push but it hadn't broken that, and critically the hour before I entered we had this break and close above that level there, that green bar there. So I'm always talking about this bust and break on this histogram, and that's what I mean. So there is no way I want to be trading against a bullish signal like that, i.e. short, this morning. Cable was massively strong anyway. I mean the pound, not cable. The pound. The dollar was quite weak. It wasn't the weakest currency there. New Zealand dollar was when I was looking at this thing here. But this thing and this thing coincided. So all I had to do was show patience and wait for the lower time frames to come back in alignment. Now, as you can see, there was a massive amount of jiggery pokery going on here. I normally start trading like this pink dotted line here, 6 in the morning, and I overslept on purpose actually. But look at this spike down. That really should be telling you that, and there was no news this morning, so it wasn't anything to do with news. That should be telling you that they've brought in short orders and taken the stops out of anyone that might have been entering around here and putting their stops below the candle. So very, very tricky morning. You could have drawn a ascending trend line here, which would have been pretty. I could have, sorry, and you could have. And then as this price started to break up through these levels here, you can tighten it up. I prefer to leave mine on and draw new ones. That resistance failed to hold, and the just double check that, yeah, so you couldn't have drawn this line until that high was broken by price here, but that was well before I was staring at charts this morning. And now this high has been broken by this green candle here. We can tighten it up even more. The reason I do this is for two reasons. To give myself safe places to put my absolute emergency stop, and then when price does potentially reverse, these will act as a stairway, if you like, for price to break through on the downside. That's why I like ascending and descending trend lines. I don't do all this 3 touches and it's valid and all that malarkey. That's just not how I understand price action. Because basically what these are is there will be lows of candles. Probably if there was an H8, 8 hourly candles make one 8-hour candle, but we haven't got that, so there'll be H4s and so on and so forth. So, excuse me. Just a question of waiting for the alignment. We could see this one closed green, this bar I'm talking about on the histo. The lower time frame will show us more information on the histo alert. Actually, this is looking very, very good now, because what have we got? We've got the burst up, pullback, and the break and close on this 30-minute will be another bullish signal. I'm not sure whether I'm going to trade anymore. I need to do some more analysis of what's up above us. But this morning, again, as always, On my charts, I draw all the levels that might affect where price is going to. If it breaks up through all this stuff here, then this old resistance will likely get tested. Sorry, this old support will likely get tested as resistance. So, but I wasn't worried about that affecting price. My small long of 8 pips this morning. Very healthy start to the day. Forced to show patience and discipline. Waiting for, my God, that spike. I didn't see that hiding behind there. Jeez. So there you go, guys. Draw the lines, and always do this. You know, I think it's probably one of the best exercises to tune your brain into what's happening, because you can draw. You know, you're on the monthly now. We can see we're clearly in a massive downtrend, and you know, there's no rush. You don't have to rush your trades. There's trades come to you at all times of the day. I prefer to get my trades out of the way this time of day so that I can relax for the rest of the day, make videos, do stuff online, walk the dog, do other stuff. You know, life is good, and you make of life what you can. I forgot that was there. I was going to draw a line there. Wouldn't hurt to have a line here, because that was just an extremely mad spike. So these levels, lows, monthly lows, will affect price. So you could connect them up. I know they don't strictly adhere to my rules, nor does this one, in fact, because it's not broken that low. Hang on, yes, it has broken the low there. It broke it there, didn't it? I wonder if that's a double bottom. That is a massively significant level there, down there, if it did. 114754. Oh, I could look there. 114097. No, so this is lower. So that has broken. So this is a valid trend line now. In fact, it was validated by that. I'm talking about this one is a valid trend line now, because that low was broken by this low. So, and as such, that hasn't held a support. So there's loads can be gleaned from this chart, and then you just carry on doing the weeklies and checking what levels may well affect you. Price. Now you can see these 3 weekly candles here prior to our current candle have all been broken, the highs of those. So they will act as serious support if price got up and then started to come down, and I mean sort of this way and come back down. Resistance would be tested as support, so got a really strong level. But that's all by the by. But it's important to talk about this stuff, because you know, I forget to mention stuff quite often, because I just take it for granted now. I understand this method so well. This is a connecting trend line now, because this low has been broken by this, so it hasn't held a support. This is a strong selling area. So it stands to reason when price creeps up that way, that will cause a problem with it. So what can we see from this? Well, weekly, last week was green, bullishness. We can see that from the candle anyway. Daily, breaking the 20 level. That's massively important. Not sure whether yesterday broke the 20. No, it didn't. 1978.01. So, but I'm not actually 100% sure the significance of the 20 on the higher time frames. I've said this before in videos, and I need to keep repeating it. I haven't done the statistical analysis on this thing to know what whether it's just as important on these lower ones. You know, it could quite easily be that we could change the higher time frames to break a lower level. You know what I mean? 15, say for example, and minus 15. to be useful information, but it's work in progress. Lovely looking short reversal there, low, high, high, low, high, high, nothing pertaining to today's trade, but high, low, lower, high, lower, low, and close, and then price collapsed. Lots of them all over the place. There's one there, low, high, high, low, high, 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 low, lower, high, lower, low, and closed by the looks of it. If it wasn't that one that closed below it, then it would have been that one, and as you can see, price continued down for 2 days. Looks like there's one there as well. High, low, lower, high, lower, low, low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. I think the close was the second green candle there, third green candle I mean. Close was 533, 129533, and the level was 129589. No, it wasn't that one. It would have been the next one. No, it wasn't even that one. So that's how precise this is, for me anyway. It broke and closed on the final candle. You could probably have used, this is a daily, you could have used an H4 to attack that daily level. That's something I don't mention enough as well. So you could have used an H4 to attack that low, daily low, trending down. H4 would have reversed obviously before the daily started to reverse. So that's how you trade. That's how many different ways you can trade this. So back to the histo alert and going down the time frame. H4 was screaming long at me when I started considering trading this long this morning. Couldn't possibly consider shorts. Now we've sort of got the situation I just described to you in on that daily chart. We can draw the H4 low on here. For whatever reason, if it does decide to start to come back, the first thing that will happen will an H1 will potentially reverse, low, high, high, low, high, high. So the low of that candle will lead the way. If this closes below that, then this is important to mention, I don't mention this enough either, that these are less strong levels of support because they're not the first reversal. So whilst you need to be aware that these will affect the price, the reversal happens so infrequently that they can be treated as super strong sort of levels, and these less so. So when this reverses, it should really come down to some old resistance broken. So there's a resistance level here, hiding behind that dotted line there, and that's the, you have to look on the left hand side as well, which I'm not going to do now, but you have to be aware that price stopped here and flipped over for a reason. So that flip area is probably going to be a critical level as well. So all these things have to be taken into account. I wouldn't personally want to be trying to trade this short because we're so massively bullish. As I said earlier, I'm not a top or bottom picker. I am a trend trader. Having said that, you know, if everything matched up and we were below the 20, below the 0 and broke and did that bust thing and then pulled back and then broke the 20, then yes, that would be a perfectly good opportunity to go short. You've got your levels here to guide your way. Notice that at no point in any of these pullbacks did this break the 20 level. It didn't do that bust with the red and then come down and bust the low of it. It didn't bust with the red, come back and bust the low of the red. It's never had the power. If this does, then it stands to reason that that's failed, but this one will probably work. So all these things need to be taken into account when you're considering trading this method. Anyway, that's why this is so important. Trading it blind would be very difficult for a beginner. This and this are on these charts to help you guys. They do help me as well now because I've learnt to rely on them, but they were never really part of the original 3 candle reversal method. all you're doing is getting your ducks in a row, just like the Russian dolls. You're trading the lower time frame valid reversal down with the higher time frame valid reversal down, i.e. H1, then M30, then M15, then M5, then M1. Okay, thank you for watching, have a great day.